Two, one.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to a very special Blood Vessels live stream episode. Happy Halloween. To celebrate Blood Vessels' release last week and to celebrate the best day of the year, um, I have gathered together your four favorite vampires to once again trek into the dark history of Chicago. Um, so we are going to investigate beneath the city, beneath the ground. We're going to crawl into the dark places. Before we get into that, let me give you a quick primer about what Blood Vessels is. Blood Vessels is a narrative game set in Chicago at the turn of the 20th century. This evening, we'll be engaging in a one-shot scenario called the Inverted City. This is a role-playing scenario, and it's similar to the sort of gameplay you'll find on our Discord. Check the description for the video for links to our Discord and Twitter. All right, let's get started. The four of you vampires, are within a large, vaulted room, high ceilings, newly constructed, concrete and cement. You can smell sawdust. You can smell the smells of construction, wet earth, um, diesel, gas, things from machines, all above you. Because above you, right now, above you in the daylight world, the city is getting ready for the World's Fair. They're getting ready to open. There's going to be thousands of people, thousands of new humans, thousands of new viewpoints. Change is on the horizon. The vampires of Chicago have seen this, and they have snuck under the radar. They have crawled beneath the construction of the White City, of the Chicago Fairgrounds for the World's Fair, and they have begun to create their own city, an inverted city. You're standing in one of the completed larger common rooms. This is one dedicated to the Circle, an organization the four of you have helped previously when you investigated the Chicago stockyards and discovered a strange device beneath it. Your reputation in the Circle must be good because you're standing in this brightly lit cement area with a horrifying man. His name is Ares. He's huge, veins across his head, a device kind of impaled, grown into. It looks like a radio dial. Every now and then he reaches up and he fiddles with it as though one might have a tick or a small exaggeration. He looks down at the tile floor where the circle symbol has been lovingly laid out, and he looks up at the four of you. It's just you four, and him in this room. Feels overwhelming. There's a smell of dampness running under the smell of sawdust and concrete. This is Charlotte's other half. If Charlotte is the public face, the one that works with the people and the vampires that are in the world, Ares is the one that works with them in the spirit, in the strange. He wants to discover where vampires came from, where they're going, and if all of that is bound together. He's a very strange man. And to be summoned by him means, well, it means something. The four of you stand there and he regards you and says, "It seems you're good at finding missing things, and I've lost something." He motions to the room around you and to a hallway going off into the distance. This room has four entrances. You entered one of them from above. You came into a building and you entered a secret door that led you down here. There's three more entrances that go out into the darkness, and he motions to those and he says, "We've been bringing down supplies to continue to create our city, our inverted city. But someone is stealing them. I don't think they're leaving here with them, but they're taking them somewhere else down here. don't have the time to find them. And the four of you find these supplies, and more importantly, the men that came with the supplies. I think whoever's taking them is also abducting men from above, construction workers. I think they're going to get us noticed, and that would be very bad in this stage. He looks at the four of you. Do you understand what I'm saying?
We can't let them know that we're here.
As James speaks up, James, can you describe yourself? And what's the kind of person James is? What kind of vampire James is?
Yeah, so James Brinkerhoff is a tall, bald man with a prodigious set of facial hair. He is an apex vampire, which means that he looks more or less normal compared to some of his compatriots. He is of the brute type, which means that he is very, very strong and of moderate intelligence. But he's generally a pretty decent guy once you get to know him and get past the whole vampire thing.
Excellent. So James offers they can't let us know that we're down here. So James, it sounds like you're in. Ares nods approvingly. He looks at the other three.
Well, I'm here to help you guys since my old friend, my dear friend Charlotte is also a member of your circle, and we can't exactly have the world knowing about all of us just yet.
Maud, please describe yourself. What kind of vampire is Maud?
Maud is a hybrid vampire of medium to medium small height and just smaller build. And while not particularly strong or agile, uh, she is very strong in will. And she is also a bit of a, not paranoid, but she's into the paranoia or paranormal rather. And uh, as such, is not very sociable with others as much as she could be.
Excellent. Ares nods and seems excited. You're a hunter of these things, so perhaps maybe it'll be fast.
Hi, I'm Ursula. Um, I I mean, we all really understand what it is to lose people and lose things. Um, with all of our kind of scary and uh intense adventures from the past few times that we've gone together and having met Charlotte as well. And so I think we're all going to be very willing in helping you find the people and things that you need to find. Um, and I am uh, an apex vampire of the royal strain. Um, I have dark hair, but of course, all the stress of being a vampire, I definitely do have some gray streaks, but I think it makes me look very elegant. Um, I'm very happy with the fact that I found my partner Ethel then the last time that we all saw one another. And it's really great because um, she and I are really important to one another. And I'm pretty agile. I'm good at jumping around. And I'm pretty all right with talking and having a lot of willpower, pushing myself to do things so that I can help the people that I love. But I wouldn't say that I'm really good at investigating or observation, so I'm really glad I have my other vampire friends here who are better at that to help me out.
Excellent. And then that leaves just you, Sylvester, standing alone in the room. This is sort of a strange place for Sylvester. He's used to the courtroom, right? He's used to a more elegant features. not to be underground in some sort of neo vault for the dead.
Yes, exactly. But I'm always willing to help out because I bill hourly.
Well, is that why Sylvester is here? Is it profit? Is he gaining profit from this, or is it something else that drives Sylvester?
Well, we can discuss my retainer later. But I am Sylvester Ephraim Blakewell, Esquire, a hybrid vampire. The transformation had some unfortunate physical effects that seem to preclude my former life as a trial attorney. It's hard to get a sympathetic jury looking like I do. But I ended up associated with this current group after some strange nightmares about the stockyard led me to investigate and led me to this group.
Excellent. Ares looks upon the four of you and nods. He goes, "Excellent. This should only take an evening's worth of investigation. Just keep your eyes peeled. I'll leave it to you." And the strange form of a strange man lumbers away, back upstairs, back towards the construction. Where is anyone's guess? But you're left with these three doors. How are you going to start your investigation?
Is there like a breeze coming through any way of the doors?
Excellent question. So we're going to call them door 1, 2, and 3. There are 3 doors. There is a breeze coming down door 2, but there is no breeze coming down 1 or 3.
Sounds like 2 might be it then.
All right, you guys head down to going down the hallway. You can see that it's been constructed by human hands, obviously. Brick is around you. But you can see that the brick becomes a little bit rougher, a little bit more dirt on the ground. And then you come to a dead end where there is still ground, but above you is a small grate that leads upwards. It's a shaft. It looks far too small to wiggle up into. Looks like this might be a dead end unless you want to investigate further.
How tall is the ceiling in here?
Well, you're a large guy, James, right?
Yep.
It's brushing the top of your head.
I would like to lift up the grate and kind of feel around, see if there's anything stashed up there.
Excellent. Yeah. You push away at the grate, and within you find a key.
I hand it over to Maud because she seems like the most smart person to handle this kind of item.
I thank you. I'll put it right with my investigation journal.
Maud can handle keys. All right. Well, you're still at the end of this hall. There's boxes around, construction equipment around. Anything else you would like to do, Ursula or Sylvester?
I'm not
Certainly.
particularly good at investigating things, so I don't know that I'll be useful here.
Yeah, lead on.
Okay. You head back to the center room. That leaves doors 1 and 3 left.
Does anybody have any thoughts? Because I'm pretty sure I can at least count to 3, so maybe we can do 1 next, and then 3, and then, you know.
You can make an intelligence roll. I just need 1 success if you would like to find a lead.
Sylvester, you're pretty good at investigating things. Maybe you'd take an intellect roll as well to kind of check things out.
I think James might have a hunch on where we should go next. What do you think, James?
You guys are talking and trying to figure it out, and James is just bored and kind of rooting around and pushing boxes and crates around to see if there's anything interesting.
Yeah, James, you do. You guys do find something, at least when investigating, you've noticed that hallway 1 has scratches along the walls, as though something with tusks, something large or claws, maybe something antlers. Judging by the scrapes on the ceiling, that you yourself were kind of noticing is pretty low. Something spiky came down this hallway and tore up the fresh brick and cement work done here.
It seems we might have something waiting for us at the end of this hallway.
What are the 4 of you doing?
Well, let's head down that hallway.
I guess let's go find out what's waiting for us.
All right. The 4 of you continue down hallway 1 now. Very similar to 2. It is handcrafted, except for now these scratch marks. These scratch marks that James points out that becomes obvious once you see them at a certain angle. This all kind of leads up to a large gated door, similar to the image we had before, a door that has been gated, locking entrance to the other side. There is a lock, however, and Maud, I assume, uses her key.
You assume correct.
Excellent. Maud uses her key and pops the lock. The gate swings open, leading further into this tunnel. Further inside, it's getting darker and darker. There's electric light being piped in from above. Down here, it's starting to get darker. Vampires can see well in the dark, but not entirely well. Does any of you strike up a lighter or any sort of match? There's no lanterns. There's no flashlights.
James wouldn't have anything like that. How about you, Ursula?
Yeah, I might have a match on me.
Excellent.
What were we using for a light source in the other room?
That was the electric light. There's electric light being run down from above.
I see.
Since this section of the hallway has not been finished yet, there's no light. Doesn't look like there's any lanterns either. So, Ursula, you strike a match. The cavern lights up. It says it is a cavern, in fact. You have passed from a tunnel into a creation of the earth. There is stone and dirt around you. It looks like this is going to be another large chamber, similar to the one that you were standing in before. Construction would be started, but the materials are missing. The chamber is huge, gigantic. It's completely underground, though, and the smell of dampness mingles with the smell of the sulfur from the match. There's no clear sign in this giant room, this cavernous room, of anybody, any sort of material or anything like that. But you can make an intellect or agility test to look around if you want.
I will investigate with intelligence. Intellect, rather.
And I can kind of look around the room, maybe move around a little bit, seeing jumping over anything that I shouldn't be stepping on, and kind of sneaking around a little bit with my agility.
Yeah, I'm imagining like you're moving around the room, right? Like you're you're touching things, you're active in the room. You're investigating it, not necessarily with your head, but your body.
Exactly.
Cool. That sounds like something a dancer does. Investigate the room with your body. James, would you like to investigate? Oh, you did. No, you didn't yet. James or Sylvester, would you like to poke around using either your agility or intelligence?
By all means.
Lots of good rolls. Okay, so in Blood Vessels, we roll to do challenges. We look at your vampire's attributes, and that is how many dice you roll. And then we're looking for 6s and 5s. In this case, Maud has 3 successes. Ursula has 2, and Sylvester got 1. Sylvester, what trait did you use to search? I know what Ursula used. Maud, what trait did you use?
I used
I was
intellect.
using yes, intelligence. Yep.
Okay, great. Intelligence. So the two of you, you look around. You can tell that this place is natural. It is a naturally forming cave. However, it has been modified. There is stalagmites and stalactites here that are wrong, with a big question mark, because they look like they were created from the cement, the missing cement that's missing, and sawdust and maybe something else, something red. It's as though this room had been added on to. And it's Ursula who discovers why it feels this way. As she reaches out and touches one of the stalagmites, right? The mites are at the bottom, held on tight to the ceiling. As she reaches out and touches one of those, it crumbles, revealing a passageway, low passageway that you're going to have to get down low to creep into, crawl into. But judging by the powder, the mixture of material, this is where the material disappeared to. Whatever this person is, it's behind this crawl space, through the wall, to something strange.
Are all of these stalagmites as flimsy?
Yes, yeah. As you push pressure on them, you notice they do snap away very easily. They kind of crumble in your hands. They dissolve.
Huh. This is interesting. It reminds me of my mutation, which non-organic material will erode, but mine does that with spores, and this just does it on its own.
Yeah, seems strange.
Would anyone like to look in this tunnel with me?
My
James
investigatory, yeah, we will go.
Please, ladies, allow me to go first. He kind of wedges himself in there like Winnie the Pooh style.
James, you wedge yourself in. Are you going to start crawling forward, or are you just looking in? It's completely black. Are you using one of Ursula's matches?
If it is completely black, then I would love to borrow a match and hold it out in front of me as I struggle through.
Excellent. Okay, you enter through. Maybe you get the match book, or just a few matches.
Just a few. Needn't lighten the lady's purse so much.
Great. Is anyone going behind James?
I will.
Maud gets on all fours and follows. Ursula, Sylvester, either of you two crawling into this dark space?
Yeah, I definitely will.
Are there any other possible exits from this room that we might want to otherwise explore before we just all crawl into the hole?
Not that you've found yet through your investigations, but there could be.
I'll give this room one more pass while they're trying to fit themselves into that hole. I can always follow afterwards.
Excellent. Okay. Within this tunnel, it is claustrophobic. Vampires don't necessarily feel claustrophobia, but there can be an existential crisis that can set on when you think about creatures like you. You notice since you become what you are, you haven't aged, you haven't changed. So what happens? What happens if someone seals up both ends of this tunnel right now? Would you just be in here unchanging, unending, forever, thinking your thoughts preserved? And it's while one of you is considering this that the sound of James's match, you can hear it strike. A second one, a third. And the fourth time James strikes a match, a face appears in front of you for a moment, James. It lands sideways, looking at you, He is covered in blood. He's got dirty hair. He's covered in this kind of dust, and he makes eye contact with you, James, at the front. And he goes, "Help!" And then something pulls him off to the right, away from the hole. And you can hear a skittering inside. Ahead of you, there's a large space. You can tell there's a large space. There's a low light coming from within. It's a similar cavern structure. What do you do?
Oh boy. So it's seeing the face. James recoils a little bit because he hasn't been a vampire for very long, so that's still a little scary. But when the person who said they needed help, did James recognize that person at all?
No, not at all.
Okay.
But it did look like, judging by what you saw on his shoulders, maybe, and just the brief glimpse you got at his headwear, maybe he's one of the construction workers, one of the men from above that's gone missing.
Well, James does have a soft spot for the working man, so he will pull himself out of the hole and fists raised, see what he has to see. Well, by the meager matchlight anyway.
Maud and Ursula follow. Meanwhile, back within the chamber, Sylvester, how are you going to investigate? You've already used your intelligence. We've seen what happens with agility. Is there another trait you'd like to apply to this investigation?
Well, I think just kind of, I don't know if there would be another trait that would really apply. Just kind of, I don't know if strength would matter, like just kind of tapping on the walls, feeling my way around, sort of banging, listening for anything that might be hollow.
Yeah, go ahead and make a strength check, and I'll give you a bonus die based on the information we gleaned on this kind of weird,
All right.
weird stuff. Ooh, a 6 and a 5. Excellent. Yeah, no, it is, Sylvester. Your hunch is right. As you go across and you touch some of the stalagmites, the stalactites, you notice a section of the wall that seems to be a cluster of these spikes coming up and coming down. They kind of meet in the center, almost like the way a mouth would close if the teeth were overgrown. You easily begin pulling away at those pillars, those stalagmites, those stalactites. They start coming away in your hands, and before you know it, you enter a room. You notice across from you, a little bit, not quite across, but to your left, James's hands are up, ready to punch. Ursula and Maud crawl through the hole, and above you, a man is dropped from the ceiling. Woof! He hits the ground. There is a woman holding on to the side of the wall. In one arm, she holds a bag of mix, cement mix, concrete mix, stuff used to set base. She pours it directly onto her head, into her mouth, a mouth full of blood from this man. And then she spits it at the wall, at the ceiling, and creates another stalagmite, another stalactite. You found the person who's stolen it. It's the thief. She hangs from the wall and continues to build. She hasn't noticed you yet.
That definitely can't taste good.
No, it's a little gritty when you chew on a cement mixture. It doesn't have a good mouthfeel. All right, the four of you are in this room. You've got a knack for sneaking up on vampires in the middle of their shenanigans. In this case, go ahead, Ursula.
Oh, we do have a knack for that. I was agreeing with you.
What would the four of you like to do in this room? You've caught her unawares. There's a man in the center now. It's hard to tell if he's conscious or alive.
Like you said, she was suspended partway up the wall?
She's holding on to the wall, high up, with a bag of cement mixture in her hand. She shovels it into her mouth and spits it out, creating stalactites.
Well, I'm pretty agile, and this might be a little weird, but I have a potential idea. Although I don't know if we want to go this intense right away, but I have an idea if you want to discuss it, group.
Oh, absolutely. Whatever
I'm
it is
all
sounds
ears.
amazing.
So I know that James is pretty strong, and I am, quite agile with my dancer background. Um, I was wondering if maybe and I also have a mutation, acid spores, which erodes non-organic material. If we wanted to get her off the ceiling, you could cheerleader throw me up into the air and I could erode the ceiling that she's hanging on to.
Like an
loves
Elastigirl
it.
moment.
Fastball special.
I love it. I love it. So how does this plan go out? Who goes first? Is it Ursula and who's flinging you? Is it James or is it Maud and James?
So James would definitely at least be one of the people throwing me. If anyone else wants to do it with me or with James, that would just be even more helpful.
Well, I was thinking I was going to use my mutation of my elongated finger claws just to kind of get started and wait below where she would fall.
Oh my goodness, you're setting up a spike trap for her. So James throws Ursula. Ursula is going to melt the wall with her acid spores, and then the thief is going to plummet down onto your sharp fingers.
Not onto, maybe help me grab her or anything in case she tries to escape.
Gotcha. Okay, so she's not just going to plunge onto them. Okay, cool. You're getting ready to
Yeah.
catch.
We're not trying to completely hurt her. We're just trying to figure out we're just trying to solve this.
Sure.
This is for our friend Charlotte in the circle. We have to do what we can.
Sylvester, is there anything you want to do as part of this plan?
I can't wait to see how this works.
Excellent. Okay, here we go. Ursula pitches the plan. You all agree. James, you need to make a strength test of 2.
Ooh.
So before you make the roll, you can spend hunger to add dice to your roll. That helps guarantee, well, it helps increase the chance of success, not guarantee the chance of success. Would you like to spend some hunger to add some dice so we make sure Ursula doesn't collide with this monster in the way she shouldn't?
As funny as that would be, I would sure love to spend some hunger. I have 7, so I can dip in, let's say 3 points of that. So that means I would be rolling a total of 8d6 because I'm very strong.
Excellent. Two successes. How does this look, James? Describe this to the viewer as though they were looking at this. Are they holding Ursula? Does Ursula, do the muscles increase in size? Does James increase in size? How does 3 hunger? What's happening? Describe how this energy is happening. Is pulsing through him.
Yeah, so if you'll recall from our last adventure, when James initiated his power, his eyes kind of briefly blacked out, but that was just his command power. This is going to be his strength power. So in addition to his eyes blacking out, as Ursula takes a running start towards him, he crouches down low, and the seams of his clothes begin to strain as his muscles begin to bulge and swell. And as she gets nearer, he catches her feet and just launches her as hard as he can with kind of a guttural roar, that of a beast, and she is airborne.
You howl that roar, and the thief looks backwards, surprised at these intruders. 4 intruders now inside of her nest, but more surprised at the now hurled at her Ursula. Ursula, I need you to make a test. An agility test as you come careening at this thief, this woman, and you want to deploy your... Oh, wow, okay. That's a lot of confidence, but the confidence paid off. 3 successes, excellent. The wall in front of her burns away and she begins to plummet down. She hits the floor, strikes it, but Maud is there. She lunges forward. Maud, you can make a strength test with 2 extra dice from the 2 friends who set up a advantageous situation for you.
Can I use one more hunger to add another die?
You can.
So wait, how many was that? You said that's 3 extra now?
3 extra, yep. And you need 2 successes. Excellent. Maud, you seize the thief. The woman struggles in your arms. Your fingernails interlock like iron bars. She struggles. You notice that her skin seems like jelly, like mushrooms. Like, it's hard to explain. It doesn't feel like flesh. It feels soft. It feels wrong. Her mutations still look fine. I mean, fine for a hybrid. And it's difficult to hold her with her spikes. She throws her shoulders left and right. Her face, the tusks swing, and she goes, "Let me go!" Sylvester, you have a turn before this woman acts. Is there something you want to do? Don't you have a mutation that might help?
I do. I would like to. I have the ability to hypnotize people. Basically, I would like to try to apply that just to sort of calm her down and make sure that she isn't fighting back and will talk to us, hopefully.
Okay, excellent. I need you to make a willpower roll.
Willpower.
I will give you a bonus die.
Okay. My willpower is 2, so I'll roll 3.
You need 1 success. Excellent. All successes all day. This has all been treats, no tricks. That's not fun. It's perfectly fun. So you hold your eyes, your gaze locks with hers. You tell her to calm down. She begins to breathe a little bit, and her eyes focus. She looks at the 4 of you. There is cement, dust all along her face and her chin. Blood seems to be mixed with it. This whole room is lit, it seems like, by a portable light source that she's brought in. But the whole room is created from the same unstable stalagmite and stalactite structures from the previous room, or half of the previous room. And judging on that, that means that this room is pretty unstable.
Uh-oh.
Basically like being within a giant set of teeth that haven't bitten down yet. And for those of you crawling in the hole in the wall, the crawlway, that feeling again, that terror of being locked down here forever, thinking but never being found, creeps up on you again. But you have her, you have the thief. What would you like to do with her?
I would like to know why she is vomiting cement everywhere and making this inorganic cave.
I'm building. I'm building for when they come.
They?
I've been down here for so long. And as she says that, that's what the feeling of her skin is, Maud. That's what it reminds you of, like leather that you find in a basement or an attic that's been there for so long. It's kind of stiff, but it gives. Kind of reminds you of, like I said, the flesh of mushrooms. There's a push. She looks unwell, even for a hybrid. It's clear she's been drinking blood, but there's something else wrong with her.
You've been down here for so long, but you seem like you've been able to keep yourself alive. How have you been eating?
I sneak up. I find them. I get them. When I'm building, I feel all right. I feel okay. But I only sneak up when I need them. And I only take what I need. I'm not trying to take. I'm not trying to, get noticed by anybody. I just take what I need.
And what is it that you need?
The materials and the blood. But are you here to kill me? Are you gonna hurt me?
No, well, unless you try to hurt us or anything like that. We just want to know what's going on for these missing people, but I don't know if you've been killing enough of them to warrant this kind of investigation. How long have you been doing this?
She blinks. She looks around. 4 or 5 evenings. And the place is huge. She's been doing this for 4 or 5 evenings. What could she get away with if she was left alone? What is she building? She looks at you and goes, "Let me go. I promise I'll stop making trouble. I'll close up my hole. No one will find me. I'll find a new place."
We can't risk that. We can't risk them finding out about us.
We could bring her to Ares.
It's just what I was thinking.
Sylvester, Ursula, how do you feel about this? Anything you want to ask her?
I think we
this-
should bring her to Ares too. What do you think, Sylvester?
No, I agree. This was what we came here to figure out. What happens to her isn't really our concern.
Ooh, okay. The four of you leave, probably through the new entrance that Sylvester's found.
Yeah. By the way, we didn't need to crawl through that tiny hole there. Just so you guys know.
Now you tell me.
The four of you continue back out through the gate, through the tunnel. Ares is in the chamber again. He is putting tables down. It looks like altars, maybe, from a church. Votive candles, old votive candles are still on the altar, dusty and old. There's no denomination, no faith. The wood just seems like that of the church, a shape like that of a shrine. And he looks at you and he looks at the woman and he goes, that is the thief?
From what we can tell, yes, she seems to have been very busy.
And he looks at her, gets in close, considers her face, pulls out and says, she has the depths. She has the deep sick. This is what happens to our kind when we don't come to the surface regularly. If we stay down here too long, stay in the dark, stay in the dam, I think it corrupts our souls and it corrupts our bodies. And he looks at you and he smiles at the four of you, and it's kind of unnerving because it's the kind of smile you see on an animal when you're not quite sure if it's smiling or baring its teeth. And he goes, make sure the four of you stay out of the dark for too long. Get some air and breathe. We wouldn't want anyone else becoming like her. And he seizes her arm like a vice, and he starts walking towards the third hallway. And that is where we conclude our short Halloween session. Thank you to Maud, Ursula, Sylvester, and James for another awesome one-shot for a quick exploration beneath the White City. If this was something you're interested in, please check out our bio, our info below for all of the Twitter links and Discord links, website links. Blood Vessels is now for sale. That is to say, it is now on sale. You can go and get yourself a vampire. So visit our website to check out how. And if you want to get on the allow list and get a discount for your vampire, make sure you visit our Discord and keep your eyes peeled for opportunities and links. But there's definitely a way to get a deal. With that, thank you again to my awesome players. And thank you again to the tech crew running the sounds and the board. Thank you, everyone. Have a